All right. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Criterion Cult. Episode what? Number 3?
3, yeah.
Episode 3. I'm Hordan, one of the hosts. We got Mondo in the house.
Hello.
We got Nacho in the house. And we got Diego in the house. Nacho, it's probably going to be audio so that no one's going to see that thumb. But all right, he's there. That's not going to be audio mostly, but thank you. If you just give thumbs up, thumbs down the whole podcast. So today we're going to be talking about Paris, Texas. So today's Mondo's picks. So I'll explain again what we do here on the podcast. So we talk about Criterion Collection movies. Every episode, one of us picks a movie that is in the collection, and then one of us brings a movie that we want to be in the collection. And then the other three of us argue against it or for it, whatever it is we think. And today, Mondo picked Paris, Texas, which is from Vim Vendors, which is in the collection. It's got good old HD Stanton, a Mexican ally, former Mexican ally, R.I.P. HD. And then
Dean Stockwell.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we'll go through the cast as we talk about it, I figured. But then also you brought Destroyer to be discussed that you think should be in the collection.
Yeah.
And that's Karen Kusama. And that's got I was going to say the MILF Nicole Kidman, but that just sounds really horrible. The great actress Nicole Kidman, because that's what she is. She's extremely hot. Either way, I'm going to say something like that. But yeah, so let's get started on Paris, Texas. Mondo, is there a reason why you picked it, or?
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I wanted to watch it again. So that was one of the reasons why I brought it up, and So
you had seen it before?
Yes, I have, but it's been like a few years actually since I have seen it.
And you and Diego and Nacho, you guys haven't seen it, right?
This is the first time for me.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the whole way through. I'd only seen the beginning. So yeah, this is my first time seeing it. But so what were your thoughts on it, like watching it again?
I don't know. I think it's like just a beautiful looking film. I haven't even seen any other of Wim Wenders stuff actually. I was looking through his filmography and some more stuff he has is on the Criterion Collection, like but that one's like a documentary, Pina, and something else.
He has Wings of Desire, which is that's like about angels, and Peter Falk's in that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a really beautiful looking film. Who's the cinematographer? Robbie Mueller. He did Repo Man, a bunch of what's his name, Jim Jarmusch's stuff.
Yeah, and you could really tell, like especially with Repo Man and this, that it's his cinematography. It kind of has the same kind of look.
Yeah, it does. It
especially with those greens that they show in it.
Yeah, the colors really popped out in this film a lot. I really feel like that. There's like one scene where I think it's Dean Stockwell. He's at a phone booth like at like dusk, and you can like just see like he's in the gas station, and you see all the light from the gas station, and in the background you see the dusk of nightfall, and like just that color, that beautiful color, that like where it's that blue and like brown and like black, how it fades to go into each other like gradient.
It's really that is pretty crazy how they were able to get like because it's a desert landscape mostly. It's in Texas, so it's just very like brown, so they were able to like pop a bunch of like colors with like what he wears and like or what they all wear and like everything like that.
Yeah, and
not only that, the sound, like just hearing like everything,
Yeah,
like
that's another thing.
Like the sounds, desert, all that was very cool too.
Yeah, the ambient sound of the desert and stuff, that was really cool too. And I don't know if it's called the score or not, but like I don't know, like the Western guitar or sad guitar always reminded me of Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I for a second I was like, "Where's this guy coming from? Does he have a little meth trailer out here, like in the middle of nowhere?" Like,
What were you saying?
I thought it fit well though. I thought it fit well. I thought it was a big, yeah, I thought it was a big difference from like just a typical Texas based film where you hear like a lot of country or a lot, this had a little bit more soul, more folkness to it rather than it just be like a country song or some like westerny sounding.
To me, it sounded a little Latin. I mean, he was
it.
speaking Spanish every now and then, and you heard some type of ranchera music at one point, but it kind of gave me also like a little bit of a Latin tone.
Right.
Some of that guitar playing.
Yeah, I wasn't like nitpicking at this the guitars or whatever. It just reminded me of Breaking Bad a lot, which is a really good show, But
you've been nitpicking at that guitar all this time, motherfucker.
Feeling it.
You hate that Latin guitar.
There ain't no such thing as Paris, Texas, fellas. That is a liberal hoax. We do not have Frenchies in Texas, all right? Everything's bigger in Texas around here, all right? Not a single gun was shot in this movie. That's not Texas.
No.
It's that liberal California
That's true.
bullshit.
How did you guys feel about the story, like unfolding?
Sam Shepard wrote it.
Yeah.
He's a playwright as well as an actor,
Mm-hmm.
and director, stuff like that. And so it has a very like he writes. That's kind of like what his writing is. It's just very like poetic and like it's just mostly like very like monologue-ish too as well. Like sort of like the ending of this movie was just sort of really like a huge like monologue sort of like between two characters in a way.
Yep.
And like there's not really. I mean, it does take place in different locations, but it's it really doesn't. I mean, it's sort of just very just like a small like kind of movie.
You can see how it could be a stage play for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it could
and just because of the settings, like it's in a hotel room, and that like the whole thing where he goes and meets his I don't know if you're there. Oh yeah, I guess it was his wife, right?
They were. I think they were still together. I don't think they ever got divorced or anything like that.
He just ended up leaving or whatever.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like really stagey, I guess.
Yeah, and so that's when knowing that Sam Shepard wrote it, I sort of expected it to kind of have that feel, and like because the good thing about this is that Wim Wenders decided to direct it because. I think if somebody else would have tried, because he's he's German and he's part of like the German New Wave, which is like Werner Herzog and like different Werner Fassbender, I believe, and a bunch of other directors. But I wouldn't say, I guess this is an American film, even though it feels very foreign, like a foreign film.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a typical like a Texas American kind of road trip movie. It's got more of like a foreign film kind of feel to it, and I think that really kind of amplifies the like poetry in the script in the story that's being told.
And Stan's character, because he feels like, because every place he is, he's kind of like a foreign. He feels foreign to it,
Yeah.
Just walking, just like him meeting his son again and staying with his brother and all that.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Like all that is foreign, and then trying to go and find Natasha Kinski again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that, and so like at first I was very interested in finding out what exactly happened, like why he was wandering, why did the wife go, and they do eventually explain that to you, and that probably, and then eventually, but before we got to that ending, I started to not really care. I was like, I don't really need to know, like, I'm just sort of living in with the moment with the characters.
Right, it like worked well, like the transitioning that it went in through worked well for what it was, and at one point, you stopped kind of. Because that's the whole thing in the beginning is like, what happened? Because they keep bringing it up and you're just kind of like, well, what happened? And after a while, you're just kind of like, well, I don't even know if it matters, because you think it's going to be like a film where like the dad's going to take the son and now they're going to kind of build their own life. But then it switches over again. And it does it well. And then to touch base with what you're saying, I felt that way too about the film. Like it wasn't like a typical, I don't even know if you would consider it a Western just because it's based in Texas, and you know what I mean? Like it's more of there's like a drama in like a family dynamic to it rather than it just being like it's a Western film about people in in Texas or whatever,
It's a Texan film.
There ain't no Paris in Texas.
Yeah.
We got bigger guns and bigger boots.
Yeah. Just to jump
I was a big fan of Harry Stanton's acting, you know, as Travis, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he didn't get nominated for an Oscar for this.
Yeah, that was really good.
Because
I mean, even him when he was being a mute, like you understood like what was going on, like in his head, you know, like his emotion, just I guess what's it called, like the body
Body
yeah, like a body language,
like body language, you know, you could just tell. And I thought he did that really well, you know. And I was wondering like, how long is he gonna be a fucking mute for, you know? But no, that was good. Like even then, just throughout the movie, you know, seeing him kind of grow out of that, you know, like he was like traumatized, you know, like he was going through some hard stuff, and you know, seeing him progress and, you know, come out of that shell and become himself again, you know, even prior to what caused all this, right? What caused him to get there, you know, that was good. I thought he did really well, you know, in that role.
Yeah,
This is probably the first role I have, you know, to be honest, I've only seen him in other stuff maybe later on, like way later, but nothing like his, like a whole movie like this, you know, like where he's the main protagonist, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Usually like a side character always, or a supporting character.
Right.
But yeah. What was I? Sorry, I lost my.
You were gonna bring up. I know what you're gonna bring up, Mondo. We got. You were gonna bring up Dean Stockwell, and you were gonna bring up fucking Quantum Leap, and how you thought that maybe this was a Quantum Leap spinoff, and you thought that Dean Stockwell was gonna take him back to his real reality.
Yeah.
He's wandering, and
when does Jiggy come in?
he's stuck in the leap. Dean Stockwell, that hat that he wears, it is a billboard. And I don't know if you guys remember the hat he's wearing at the beginning of the movie when he answers the phone call, but it's huge. And I have to bring it up because it's filmed beautifully, it's framed beautifully, it's lit beautifully. I'm telling you, it's a work of art. It's got like, it's just like this big. It goes like that. And there's like a scene on it, and it says something. It's probably my favorite scene. The hat has my favorite scene in the movie. The hat itself, it's beautiful. So I really, really did like this movie because it was just like a good story, and not that like it was some complex weird thing. I just really enjoyed it. It's like the whole time you're just probably like, oh, okay, like something bad like must have been done to him. Yeah. And I mean, in a way, sort of, but not really. Like he was kind of, you know, once he tells what happens, it was kind of like his fault, because he was the one who was like all serious, like, oh, I can't work because I got to be around you. Like, that's pretty fucking psycho. Like, that's, I mean, that's probably romantic back in the day, but
it was like a toxic love, you know? Like he's he's an older guy, and she's like really young, like barely in her late teens, you know? He says,
right, who did not want a child.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to be like this person just stuck in America, like, I don't know, having a kid already. And she wants to explore stuff. Like he said, they're like, all the things they did were adventures, you know? They weren't like real things.
Yeah.
Like, that were a life that you could sustain at least, you know? Like where you could, I don't know, rob banks or something. And foreshadowing.
But even he felt like from the beginning, like it was kind of too good to be true, right? Because that's kind of like what his downfall was. Like, you know, the younger, hotter chick, you know, is with. Let's face it, he looks like a ghoul, dude. Like, and
I mean, he was acting like a ghoul, straight up. Like, you can't just be like hitting up some 17 or 18. He's not even sure. Fucking year old, and just be like, yeah, fucking, I'm not gonna work because I can't not be around you. I'd be like, what? I'd be like, full like bounce, like, but you need to get your ass. You need to get a job. You can't just like, that's not an excuse. Like, you know. Like, I love you too much. I can't go to work.
Like romantic, right? Like
it's sort of, and because the way he's telling it, it's sort of like it's romanticizing it. You know, it's like this, like oh, like I love you so much because like, you know, but then I had to go to work, and then I was jealous all the time, and it's just like, oh yeah, well, you were crazy. Like she you go back and wander, and no wonder you're wandering in the goddamn desert, not saying anything. You're a
Do
psychopath.
you guys think that stems from like, because it seemed like he didn't really care for his mom, like when he's talking about his mom to his son. Do you think that came from that? Like maybe that's like an effect from it.
I think he
Like
realizes that when
growing up with that kind of mom.
I think he realizes that when she's after she has the kid, you know, and that's what he sees like in his mom. That's what he saw in his mom, like this hatred, you know, like having a kid and being stuck with them, and then the dad probably like and he shows that picture of his dad, you know, and he died like probably when he was like, I don't know, younger, you know, when they were still kids. So I think he realizes that like he doesn't want
he
doesn't want to trap her like how his mom felt trapped. So that's why he leaves, you know, and just without a trace, sort of. He doesn't want her to be stuck and be like having this hatefulness, you know. Also, another thing that comes up in our next film.
I gotta say though, you know, you bounce for 4 years without telling anybody where you're at, and you show up. I don't know if you should just be able to kick it with your kid anymore. I don't know if that's responsible parenting, but that's just. I mean, it's Paris, Texas, baby. Anything can happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's funny because you know, while I was watching the movie, I'm not really thinking of it like that. I'm not thinking of like, well, all the things I just said. It's mostly just kind of coming to me now, where I'm just like, oh damn, like that is crazy how he was not the bad guy per se, but he's sort of like, you know, he's kind of the cause of the problem.
He felt like the bad guy for sure, you know.
Right.
That's why he left too. Is like he didn't want to be this bad person.
Yeah, and Natasha Kinski, I believe that's how you say it. I just don't know anymore. And she was great in the small section of the film that she's in. I believe she actually got nominated for a Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
I believe. Because I believe, like, you know, she's just like fantastic in that small. Like, just her listening to him is, you know, like.
That's weird too. She's not in a lot of stuff either.
No, she's not, which is strange.
Yeah, that's really weird, especially after this, you know, like.
Yeah, because she's amazing in this. Like, I think so. I thought like the part, you know, her part was.
And Father's Day, for Christ's sakes, with Robin Williams and Billy Crystal.
She's in that.
Yeah, I think she's the mom.
Oh, she's amazing. She's,
mom?
She's absolutely amazing. Father's Day. You should have paired this with Father's Day. Throw Father's Day.
No. When I was watching this, I was like, I know what I should have paired this with. The Wizard.
What? The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Oh, the video game boy.
Yeah, video game. Yeah.
With
Game Boy.
Fred Savage and.
The Fred Savage.
With Tobey Maguire at the end.
Tobey Maguire. Yeah.
And
well, I don't know.
He's in that.
I think we should.
Yeah,
just like a quick second. He's on the side.
He's one of the video game guys. He's like one of the sidekick video game guys.
He's just like part of like the gang. He's just like right there, like all like smirking.
Yeah.
But I think we should make a rule maybe that we don't allow any Tobey Maguire movies in at all. How about that?
Damn,
keep Toby out of it.
Next.
All right.
Wonder Boy.
Wait, what?
All right.
No. Wonder Boys was our next pick.
No, we don't want that.
Spider-Man's all right. Thank you.
Yeah, we might have to keep Toby out of this. Just keep him out. Natasha Kinski is absolutely stunning, gorgeous. The way that she's filmed in that little brothel thing, that shit was really dope. I wonder where those things exist, where you would sit in something like that and no one ever asked for money at any sort of time. You would think you would have to put in money in order to get in those booths or something. You know what I mean?
Well, like, they just cut that out, obviously. You know, where like.
No, I want to see him putting quarters into a slot, and then she comes out. If we can't just go and like, he's just popping in different ones, picking up phones, asking for blondes.
Yeah, someone should have checked his ass. I mean,
somebody should have been. I should have said, "Hey, did you pay? You pay anything yet? You're over here fucking
it's just a very poor. It's a very poorly run one. They just didn't really care.
You want to go to one? Please go to Amsterdam.
And then you got the great John Laurie. I don't know if you guys know who John Laurie is. That guy who tells them that the girls are downstairs.
What else?
He's he's in a bunch of Jim Jarmusch movies. He's in Down by Law. He's also he's just like a famous flute player. He's like a musician, is what he is. He plays
Flute
something.
player.
It's probably not a flute. I'm just fucking. He plays like trumpet or something. Like he was in like a bunch of like jazz bands and shit like that.
Jordan dropping knowledge. Big
John
man
Laurie.
and the flute playing.
John Laurie is his name.
Jazz flute.
He's the guy who tells him that the girls are downstairs, and that also right there. I'm just like, you just wandering up there. The guy's like, hey man, it's early. The girls are downstairs. I'd have been like, hey, who are you with? Like, what do you? Because I'd have been like, exactly. It's early. Like, what are you doing here? Like,
Well, I imagine it's those kind of men going in there, you know, with no social skills or anything like that.
sure, yeah. Like just all quiet and weird. Yeah, that's probably true. I'm just wondering if they still have those things, if those things still exist. Because those, you know, each they have like one was a hotel room,
Right, Jordan.
one was you know, they have a nurse's office. You know, those are pretty cool. You just get on the phone, they can't see you, and you're just like, what's up? Take off your.
My friend told me there's some on Valley in City of Industry. I'll text them to you, Jordan. I'll ask my friend. All right.
I mean, it's just for research for the pod.
Well, after this,
My friend's the one who knows.
after this pandemic, I think we're gonna.
I haven't texted you.
Yeah, right. That's how it's gonna have to be if you go
Like that's
now,
how
because
clubs are gonna be again.
because coronavirus. Yeah, you're gonna have to go to strip clubs like that. You have to look at them on the phone and be like, yeah. Like
My friend sent me a video of like a drive-through strip club
Imagine
because of coronavirus.
yeah.
Have you guys seen that?
No.
Yeah, I saw up in Portland they were doing that.
Well,
You drive through and they're like dancing on the sides and shit.
Yeah.
It's like a car wash. You just like
Yeah, exactly.
just rubbing on like
Their
on the
booze are all
window.
on the windows and shit.
Oh my god,
So it's a strip club and a car wash. Like that's a hell of a deal.
that's
$1 million
crazy.
idea right there.
That's absolutely insane. Where'd you say this was?
Run in
Yeah.
the industry, city of industry.
Well, that sounds like something they would do in Paris, Texas. Guys, we got to get back on topic. Is the old wonderful Wim Wenders. Now, I've never seen much from Wim Wenders except Room 666, which is a documentary he did where he was at Cannes and in France, and he was out there in Cannes in France.
with no
And
pump.
he and Fran, or no, how do you say? Don't they say
What's
France?
funny is I barely got what the fuck you're saying, dude. You been saying
They're in France. And yeah, so the documentary, he just interviews like a bunch of different directors, like Steven Spielberg, Werner Herzog, like a bunch of Godard, and they all just like talk about movies. So I've seen that from him. And then this is like, I think the second thing I've seen. Have I seen anything else from him? Because he has like newer movies. It like have James Franco and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. But so I really enjoyed this. Like, Mon, how you said when we were talking on the phone, he has like a lot of style. Every shot, like a lot of shots that I think a lot of people wouldn't have put in a movie, he did. Like, I think one of my favorite ones was when he first gets back home to Los Angeles, and you have that quick view of his POV, and you just kind of see his feet, like you see the Travis's feet or whatever. Like I just like little shit like that.
Mhm.
Like I feel like not a lot of people would really like go out and try to do that. They would just focus more on, I don't know, just letting people talk. So putting a camera on someone, just letting them talk. You know what I mean? Whereas like this doesn't really do that. He really tried to, again, to make it poetic and just really like have this really like sort of beautiful like kind of flow and feel to it. I think it doesn't feel like a road movie. It feels like I it's kind of lame to say, but it felt like kind of like a poem sort of in a way, like a little like
lame, bro.
I like how Hunter's depicted.
It's a poem.
Texas is a poem.
Parasite. No, but yeah, I like how they depict the kid, Hunter. Like, he's never like dumbed down or like a stupid like, I mean, he has like kid questions and stuff, but it's never like too kiddie, He's really like, he's treated like everyone else in the movie. Even like, I think actually Travis is treated more like a kid than anything, but
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the
like
kid was really good.
Hunter's really
yeah,
good.
he has like a very mature personality. Like especially like like my favorite scene is when he's talking to his friend um across the street when he gets out of school, and his friend's asking him like, how is it that you have two dads or whatever, and he goes like, I don't know, I'm lucky, I guess. Like that was dope, you know, like I don't know why, but that kind of like that was like
Yeah, no
like
kid would ever be happy about something.
I was wondering how that was gonna play out, Diego, when that conversation, you know, being
Right.
that this wasn't shot in, or it was released in '84.
yeah
So I was wondering like what route they were gonna.
yeah
Although they're kids, but like, what were they gonna say exactly? Is what I was
Right.
curious. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
even,
it was his little kid friend wearing a button, like a polo, with the buttons unbuttoned, open with the collar flipped up.
That kid
Yeah.
was a dork, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Anybody
Yeah.
notice that fucking what? Kids over here
The
asking
collar-
questions. Someone
collar
asked that
straight
kid a
up.
question. What's up with that fucking shirt? Forget my dad, homie. What's up with that fucking style? Anyway, I just was wondering if you guys noticed. I just noticed that like during that little scene, I was like, what's that kid doing? Is he wearing that? But yeah,
it was just
because it's beautifully shot, and you notice every detail, like stuff like that. Absolutely beautiful. Colors pop. Got
yeah,
kids
and that was,
chest,
that was
the
another
pop.
good scene when like he's trying to pick up Hunter from school and stuff, and that one time when they just walk across the street from each other all the way home, you know,
yeah
There's,
Yeah.
like mimicking each other and stuff and like having fun, you know, that was just kind of like a sweet moment in the poem, as you would say.
nowadays,
Yeah.
you would have got the cops called on him. Like, why is he fucking following that boy across the street? Like,
Especially wearing
So-
that hat that he had.
He's gonna steal him in that, abduct him in that hat, especially the '80s, when
Yeah.
they're abducting kids like that, you know.
yeah we just had that conversation. Yeah
What are the statistics, fellas? Give it to us. How many kids were abducted in the 80s by fucking Harry Dean Stanton's hat?
Not to abduct the few children.
That's probably not something we should be laughing about, but you know, I don't know.
yeah
Yeah, it's funny.
But you
Yeah.
know, we're just laughing at his hat. He's got a crazy hat. The man should have had the cops call him for several reasons. If we're being honest
Hey,
here.
did I call the cops?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the wife of his brother was right to not want him to take the kid or to have a relationship or just all of a sudden become the dad again. You know, she was right to not want him to do that because he just bounced. Like, and then like she said, his wife was like, I don't want to take care of this kid. You guys take care of him. And they have pretty well, it seems. So there'd be no reason. You don't know if that fool's just going to go off a wander again and act like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he
it's
does.
like he's a bad, it should have been called Bad Parent Texas is what it should have been called.
Like he didn't necessarily.
or piece of shit dad
That's why he took him to the.
in Paris, Texas. Sorry, Mondo. What were you saying?
He doesn't want to take care of the kid again, you know. Like he leaves again, you know. He just takes him to the mom, in the end.
yeah
And
Yeah.
but she's finally matured where she wants to be part of her son's life, you know.
right
Yes.
Right.
You feel bad for him, but and then you're like, oh no, he's still a piece of shit. Like he just left. Like, you know. Like,
I mean, you do feel bad for him because he's like a sad guy, and the way that they do all that stuff with how he's just all
I don't know.
quiet and being like a little kid, you know, like you're just kind of like, damn, he must have like experienced some shit. Then you're just like, oh yeah, he just experienced paranoia that his fucking young girlfriend was cheating on. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I guess.
well, you know, like when Anne, you know, the sister-in-law was like kind of like what we're saying. She was kind of like opposed to him taking or spending time, just kind of being weird about it. Well, it's because he was a piece of shit. Like, I mean, and that's all explained later in that last monologue. But it was like, dude, you're a piece of shit. Like, you left your son, you know, the way you treated your wife, you know, like.
yeah, they didn't even drop off their son, right? They said like a car dropped off the kid.
yeah
Left him there, yeah.
Yeah, like that's like they didn't even like they just bounced and gave the kid to somebody else to drop off. Like,
yeah,
like
because at first I was like, just let him take his son. Like, maybe you know he was trauma because we don't know like why he is the way he is, right? And it was just like, let him spend time with his son. Why are you tripping? And it's like, oh, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said that like 10 times, but yeah, you know, like.
Oh,
Nacho's quote on the poster is, "Oh, you're a piece of shit."
yeah.
Like, why don't they let him hang out with the sun? Oh, you're. Yeah, no, for sure. It should have been called that too. You know what? We're gonna cancel this character. He's canceled. Cancel culture, baby. Get him out of here. Fire him, Paris, Texas. Yeah, this Papa no goodo, no bueno. This Papa.
Papa don't preach.
But he spoke very good Spanish, and I'm very embarrassed that I don't speak Spanish now. After having been sent to.
Yeah, the conversation he has with the housekeeper, like, is spot on. And then him singing, what is it, Las Mañanitas? That was dope. Yeah. That was dope.
Yeah, because
his Spanish was decent. I was like, oh shit.
No, he sings but fuck, it's like a really famous song. But in that movie Lucky that he's in, it was like the last movie he was in before he died. He sings like with the mariachi and shit, like at a quinceañera or something, like a whole song. It's like a really famous song. I wish I could remember what it was called, and he like sings it like perfectly. You know what I mean? And it sounds like he sings it in Spanish and everything. So you know, he's a Spanish ally, but a shitty dad. But I mean, that kind of makes sense.
But that's hand in hand.
You know, I wasn't too familiar with him, and I want to say he was in this movie I've seen. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if you guys have seen it. What's it called? It's a movie with Mel Gibson where he's like
Get the Gringo.
No, where he's like he robbed like a bank and he got like
Payback.
Yes, Payback.
He's in that?
He's in that movie.
He's in that.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, damn! It's been a long time since I've seen it. I guess
you should see Point Blank, which is what it's a remake of.
Payback's a remake of Point Blank.
Yeah, it's like an older movie with Lee Marvin. It's like the exact same story because it's a book. It's like based on a book.
Yeah, it's a famous writer. Did he write The Grifters? Or
I
believe so.
Yeah, right.
I thought Payback was pretty good.
Yeah, Payback is cool. I bought Payback actually on DVD a long time ago, but I bought like the director's cut, which is stupid. It's not good. They literally cut out the whole ending. Yeah, they cut out like a lot.
So the director's cut is not good.
The director's cut is not good.
Oh.
Is the theatrical version on there?
No, it wasn't, and that shit pissed me off.
Oh, that sucks.
Because I didn't realize that it didn't have it on there, and I was like, oh shit! It's like it's really it's a lot shorter. They literally cut out, you know, the whole thing where he's in the car and he punches through to call for the bomb.
Yeah.
They completely cut that out.
What? Like, that was like one of the it's one of the climatic scenes in that too.
Yeah, they like a whole chunk of that stuff right there. They literally take out. It's fucking awful.
Speaking of cut, we're probably gonna cut all this Payback talk, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, we probably should. But the real Payback is Paris, Texas. Good segue. Well, I don't know. You know, so I guess. I mean, I could see it's. Yeah, I guess we just give our final thoughts on this particular one, so we can get into a Destroyer. Mondo, you want to go first?
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Oh, it's your movie. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still really like this film. I mean, I didn't really remember it too much. You know, I remember basics of the story, but maybe I didn't pay attention as much as the first time. You know. But this time around, yeah, I definitely paid attention. Like, the cinematography, the directing, I like really loved all the shots in this film. It just made it like that much more enjoyable, and just the script is cool too. Like, I mean, yeah, how you guys were saying earlier, like it doesn't really matter what happened, you know, like why he's like this. But I mean, yeah, you eventually find out, and it is somewhat satisfying. Like, you know. Like, it's not I don't know, it's not crucial to the story, you know?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't take away from anything.
Yeah, it's not, but it's like a plus.
Yeah, it's just kind of like these yeah, it is the plus, but it's just about like this toxic relationship, you know, like you know, you've ever had that feeling where you can't be without somebody, and it's just like that's good for anyone, you know, like you or her, and trying to like, and then she gets pregnant and she just like feels trapped, and like, you know, and Harry Dean character is trying to do the right thing towards the end, you know, he's like faced with this problem, like, you know, maybe I should fix this, you know, and go find her, because because you realize he left and he's just wandering. You know, he's not trying to do anything. Like he's never, he wasn't like searching for her. He wasn't looking for his kid. He just wanted to remove himself from like the equation, you know, because he knew he was not a good person. So it kind of just wandered off, and I don't know. Yeah, the script is really good, and I don't know. Wim Wenders is. I got to see more of his films for sure, but I gave it a. What do I give it?
I mean, you don't have to. We're not. Are we grading? We're not. We haven't been grading them, have we?
I think
we don't have to, but let him.
Yeah,
bro.
we are. Yeah, we have.
Let Mondo do what he wants to do.
Yeah, we have.
Recommending the
film. Yeah, we did Haxon.
No, I'm just saying you don't. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Mondo, go for it, man.
And V-Pan we graded.
You're right. You're right. I completely forgot. Sorry. Go for it.
I give it 4 shoe shines by Harry Dean Stanton all day long. And I don't know if I could recommend this movie to everybody, but I mean, if people who enjoy films and want to see something else other than the norm, I'd recommend it to. But anyone who's just trying to see some, like, I don't know, smolchy, like rom-com shit, I wouldn't recommend to, obviously.
Yeah. Nacho, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure, I'll go next. It'll be nice and quick. Beautifully shot.
That's
the
it.
Character development of Harry Stanton, whatever his name is.
Harry
Dean
cool,
Stanton. Man. Him being a mute into a dad redeveloping a relationship with the son, to realizing that he's been a piece of shit the whole time. No, the movie was cool, man.
I thought you weren't gonna say that anymore.
It was. Oh man, it was just shot. It was a really cool movie. I don't know if I'd recommend. Well, definitely recommend to people to watch at least once. But yeah, with being said, I rate this a. Man, I can't think of any. A 4.
A 4?
A 4.
Okay. All right.
$4 for that behind that room in the drinking room. $4.
All right, moving on, Diego.
I'll keep it short
again. Can we edit that out?
I'll keep it short and sweet as well. I thought it was, like you guys said, beautifully shot. It is a surprising film. I definitely didn't know what to expect from it. It surprised me into how the story developed, and the way it was shot, and the way it kind of just transcend as far as the storyline keeping going. And you're right, there's a lot of it that you kind of like don't really care for, as far as like what happened towards the middle of the movie. You just start kind of focusing more on the development of the characters themselves. So it was a good film. I really liked it. Like you guys said, it's hard to know who you would suggest this to if they ask, like, oh, suggest any films. I think there's a couple people that like 80s films that I know. This is probably one of those films that I'd be like, you gotta watch this movie. You'll appreciate it because it's one of those movies that came out of the 80s that it was shot almost like it doesn't feel like a regular 80s film. Like John Hughes was famous during that time. It doesn't feel like that kind of film. So I would recommend it to those type of people. And I'm going to rate it, I'll rate it 4 billboards.
Ooh, outside of Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, Billboard. That's right, because the brother does the bill.
The brother does the billboards. Yeah.
Barbara Streisand billboards.
I think, and this might be, I might be wrong, but I think people that just kind of casually watch John Hughes movies would hate this movie. They would probably think it was boring, because right. There's no Judd Nelson, and that makes every movie pretty much boring. If you think about it.
No, I'm just saying that it's not like that. You know what I mean? Like that was
I know.
Thing, but...
Yeah. So I mean, I really enjoyed this movie. Cinematography, obviously, as we've been talking about, that shit pops, that shit cracks, homie. Making all the colors pop, making Dean Stockwell's hat pop. just all that stuff. I just loved, even the dirt on his suit. It pops. It pops Texas. Huh? Doing that joke. It's so I really enjoyed all the acting. I'm fucking furious that Harry Dean Stanton didn't get nominated for an Oscar. I'm furious that I can't find Dean Stockwell's hat anywhere in real life, and I'm furious that Natasha Kaninski isn't in more things besides Father's Day, because I'm not going to watch that. I'm just not. I'm just not going to return to that in any way. Really enjoyed this movie. Really good movie to watch for parents. I wanted to call child services on this movie immediately. As immediately it was over. As soon as the credits started rolling, I wanted to call child services on it. And so I give it, but it's a beautiful poem of a film. Good old Sammy Shepard and his beautiful poems. He's a poet. He's a poet in France. And R.I.P. Shepard. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I give it 4, maybe even 4.5 calls to child services. It was good. It was really good. It was really dope. Just
we know what Nacho called after this movie, and we know what you called after this movie.
Yeah. But what's funny is that it's about so we're going to talk about Destroyer, and a way that they sort of are connected in a way is that they both kind of have well there is that sort of both of the main characters are sort of dealing with their past again.
Yeah, and piece of shit parents. Piece of shit parents is a common theme.
Yeah,
that is another common thing right there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mondo, tell us why you picked Destroyer to be in the collection, since we are the gatekeepers of what goes in and what doesn't.
All right, well, Destroyer came out, 2018, late 2018, starring Nicole Kidman, little Sebastian, what's his last name?
Sebastian Stan.
And that one other fool that's in...
Toby Kebbell.
Toby Kebbell. Yeah, Toba from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
or Koba.
He's a rock and roller.
Yeah.
And, that's right.
Yeah. Kusama. And I haven't seen Girl Fight, but I really need to see that. I remember when it came out, and it was kind of like a big deal.
Did you see The Invitation?
Yes, I did. I saw that one. And that's another thing I wanted to mention, that the writers of the film also wrote The Invitation and wrote another movie with her.
Wait, The Invitation, is that the movie where they're at a house, like ex-husband, ex-boyfriend shows up and it kind of goes crazy?
Yeah, and it's starring fucking they threw Tom Hardy in the dryer after they washed him. That guy.
Yeah, he looks like Tom Hardy. He's like Tom Hardy's doppelganger for sure.
Yeah, he's in it with long hair.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
The writers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they wrote Destroyer.
And they also wrote, I think they wrote Aeon Flux too.
Oh, okay.
Well, you didn't have to bring that up, but
I mean, that's cool that she's been working with these guys for a while. Phil Hay and Matt Manfredi.
Phil Hay.
Yeah, and they also wrote Crazy Beautiful, which is
there you go. There you go. You should.
I've never seen that. I've heard people talk about it for years.
That's another film.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just picked this
it's
film.
what made me fall in love with white women.
Yeah. So anyway, I picked this film because I feel like it was pretty much ignored almost when it came out. I mean, there was a little bit maybe of critic praise to it, but not enough at all. Where the leading actors should have been nominated for Best Actress for sure. Nicole Kidman, I've never seen her like this. I can't think of a film where she kind of plays this kind of character, But
you know what's funny? I have this thing with her, Nicole Kidman, ever since she was in that movie, that Adam Sandler movie, and Jennifer Aniston. Not that I don't respect her, but after that, I was just kind of I'm like, well, she did this movie. Is she gonna do any more good movies? But sorry.
I'm not gonna let all this Nicole Kidman slander slide.
I'm just gonna mute Nacho.
I just want to say that I really like this movie. Okay, keep going, Mondo. Like I liked her. This
I don't know. I just
This will not stand.
yeah. I just feel like this movie was ignored. Like I really like the story. Like like that was really that like came out at me, and the way the film looks too. Actually, like it's like Point Break and like Heat like mashed together, but like all the seriousness of it. Like none of it is kind of like funny or kind of kitschy. Like it's just like kind of like I don't know, like bang. It's like just bangs you in the head. I feel like it's like gritty, but like good. Not just like for gritty's sake.
And it's also a very rare thing. Is it's a like a noir, like a film noir, a film noir.
Nah.
With a female lead, which there aren't really many of those.
Right.
And it's directed by a female, so it's got like a female director behind it, so
And
it doesn't have this like male gaze, is what they call it basically.
Yeah.
Is it doesn't have really like everything that is done is like done for the story. Like you know what I mean? Like it was like that whole scene where she jerks off that dude in his living room. Like I feel like that, like it was supposed to be like, you're not supposed to want to watch it. It wasn't like sexy or anything. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, whereas
Didn't
like
he look like Fat Margera?
Yeah, like in a very age, like now.
Yeah, which actually made watching him get jerked off a lot easier.
Right.
I was just talking about it. But I think it should be in the collection too because because of that, because it literally is like a female noir. It does have that like Catherine Bigelow feel. It's got like you said, a Michael Mann kind of feel to it. It's got like that. It really is like an LA film, or like like LA in the valley. But it has like, and also this one also does kind of have like a sort of a desert, more of a desertish feel. This one doesn't have like poppy colors. It's really just like bleak and like
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that like works because like the part, like it's literally showing you like the seedy sides of like Los Angeles, like the gross sides, not the like nice, like that's what most film noirs do. They show you kind of like the underbellies of the cities or whatever. And that's like I just thought it was cool. There was like shots where she's chasing that one guy and they end up like looking down at like the Dodger Stadium or whatever. Like,
that was a good shot.
Yeah. What was it?
Another part of that scene
Arturo?
is they're chasing. Yeah, she's chasing. His name's Arturo, right?
Arturo.
Yeah, Arturo.
Arturo the freak.
Arturo.
Yeah. Another thing, rewatching this, when she's chasing him, it feels like a horror movie. Like the music and like just how like she's chasing after him, like it's a guy with like a knife or something, But it's not like a normal like chase scene, where it's all like 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 it's a lot more scarier and like gritty and like I just feel like it was shot like more like a horror film, especially the score making it feel like that, and just how it's in the dark too. That was something really cool that I don't think I've ever seen before. It's been like dealt like that in a cop film like that, or like or even a noir, neo noir.
Film noir. It's a noir. We're talking about noir.
Yeah.
Now I'm just doing a Boston accent. That's noir. Get in the car. We'll go watch the noir. And Nicole Kidman deserves an Oscar for this. Not that any of that matters. That doesn't mean that it makes you, But her performance in this is really amazing. Like she literally just like, I think that's why it's called Destroyer, because that's what she like is. She's just like a fucking like wrecking ball that's just like going around, just like causing all kinds of like damage to. To like
her life. She's trying not to destroy her kid's life, but I mean, it's almost going that way, sort of,
Right, along with like her husband is just some fucking guy.
Husband,
and and then she's just like all fucked up all the time. Like she's just like, I just like that I like that name. It's just like a good name for this movie. Destroyer. It's just, I don't know. That's just fun. I just really like the bank robbery scene too. The one where when she's older.
Yeah,
and
realize
that's a good scene.
It feels like where they have those fucking guns and like they're just kind of like it just happens right away, like and she doesn't even, she's just following that chick, Petra or whatever.
Petra.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, shit, they're gonna rob this bank right now. Like,
yeah, and it's just like those two cops show up, and she's like, "This is a fucking gunfight!" Like, like we're gonna
She
go
was
in there.
ready there, dude.
Can we
like, she
And that's
like
what I'm
when
saying,
she showed up, as soon as she knew they were in there, like she went straight for her trunk. Like she had those fucking, like the good shit. Like fucking put her gun together, boom, let's go. Like I was like, oh shit. Like
Yeah, and then
when most movies, like when you see like some type of scene like that, they show up to the scene with just like their pistol, And she was ready for war, dude. Like that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that's why I think it's like again, that's like a good example of why this movie is called Destroyer. Like even like in the in like that's where she goes and talks to the rich guy or like the lawyer or whatever, and like his bodyguard like beats her up, and she just goes to the fucking like restroom, and she just like right there
After
just like
she throws up.
That
yeah,
shit
she's
was
like
funny,
throwing
dude.
up,
That was
and then she just like looks at herself, and then she goes out there and she like fucks him up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's like a really cool. You don't see that a lot, in like especially with like I said, a female protagonist. Like where they would do something like that. Like you don't really see stuff like that done, and I thought that was really fucking dope.
Yeah, you don't see where like the woman is like a
Fucking
piece of
dope.
shit almost, like in the words of Nacho.
Right.
Yeah, she was a piece of shit mom, dude. Like for sure, a piece of shit mom, and
Cop, dude, she was a shitty cop.
Yeah, she was.
Like she wanted to like take the money and run, and that fucked up her whole life.
Yeah, she destroyed Winter Soldier. She fucking destroyed her daughter's life. She fucking destroyed everything, bro. Like she fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really liked Sebastian Stan in this also. He was like a nice addition to that. It's really crazy how they could just make Nicole Kidman look younger, like just by putting some freckles on her and like a wig. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she looked good in this movie.
When she's
but she also looked really bad. Like they went like extreme opposites, dude. Like
yeah, I know they made her look just the way she's walking and all that. Like her clothes are on. Like
yeah, I kind of had an issue with the makeup when she was older. Like I don't know if it was I don't know. I just thought like I mean obviously I know she's supposed to look. She's meant to look like basically like she's decaying and stuff. But I think like they kind of maybe went a little bit overboard with the type of makeup they used. And the wig was horrible too. But I think that was my only like nitpick thing that I could pick out from it.
I don't know.
like her as an old lady and her younger, like both of them.
And I don't think her wig looked horrible. She was just like she just did not care anymore, like especially about herself. Like she was just like so like stuck in the past. Like I don't even know if she was trying to fix it this whole time. It wasn't until she got like the $100 bill that she's like, okay, I have to do something now.
Like what did they say? Like 17 years had gone by since the events of her.
Yeah, pretty much since the case went cold,
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because her daughter was like 16 or something like that, right?
Yeah. She was pregnant when those events occurred, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Which you find out later, kind of like.
Right.
oh yeah, that's right. When she was undercover,
yeah,
she was pregnant. Yeah, she gets pregnant with Stan Man.
With Winter Soldier.
And she got the Winter Soldier all up in her.
It's cool.
Yeah. So.
I was trying to tell Diego that it was a low budget film, like lower budget.
Destroyer.
Film.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it wasn't like given a bunch of money.
I guess the argument was how much money is a low budget film, right? Diego was saying
well, technically, like what is considered a low budget film? Under what amount? Because I feel like for what the quality that it is, because it's like the quality of the cinematography, the shots, they were very nice. They worked perfectly. Everything looked right. The color editing looked fine. But for some reason, like her the makeup for her, that's what I'm just saying. That's the one thing that I focused on because it popped out to me.
Your point right there, like the people who are making it know what they're doing. I think you're confusing indie for low budget.
Okay.
So like 9 to 12 million, that's pretty low for like this film. Like for the actors they have, and the director, like that's pretty low, you know.
Because they probably paid like Nicole Kidman like 8 of those, like out of those
$9
12,
million.
$9 million.
He was probably a producer on it, dude. Like, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but I mean, I feel like she would have.
Sure. I mean, when you think about like those budgets, that's including that, right? Like all that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going back to like the thing that stood out to me the most was that.
Yeah,
Like,
the wig and her makeup.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is,
Well, what did you think of the movie as a whole, though?
I thought it worked well. The scene, like, I really liked the scene where, like, you guys talked about the scene later on when they rob the bank, not the scene in the past tense, but the scene in the present where she's older and she busts in, like, raising hell. Like, that was a good scene. I like that scene worked well. And I like the score a lot, like even not just the soundtrack songs, but the score overall. I think it worked well. It wasn't cheesy as far as like the musical ominous tones and all that. I thought that worked well, and it was shot nice too. Like it was the cinematography worked well. I don't know if I like it as much as you guys like it, but it is a good watch. I would recommend it to people that are just looking to watch something that's maybe not well known. I thought the storyline worked well. And like you guys said, female, I guess like protagonist. I don't know if you would consider her a protagonist or what, antagonist, but they're not depicted that way in like films, whether this was like an action or a drama or a little bit of both. Like you don't really see that from like female actresses in film.
True that. You fools just gonna sit there looking at me like a goddamn deer in headlights. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. For sure. That's definitely true. That isn't something that happens a lot, and I think that it's done, in my opinion, extremely well here. I think the timeline thing that they do here is great. It starts off, and you think that that's what sparks the events that happen after, but what happens after is literally what leads to the start of it. And I thought that was a cool way of telling the story, because flashing back and forth between, her younger and her at this time, it kind of made the story, in my opinion, flow better. I don't think it would have worked if we would have seen just her young, like a chunk of her young, and then she got older. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it worked for the story. It wasn't just like one of those like gotcha moments. Like it was like more for the storytelling, like to like break it up and like show her how like decrepit she is now, and then how kind of like young and spry she was then. But even then, she kind of wasn't like, she's not a good person, like, and she realizes that finally at the end, where she admits it to her daughter that she's not.
Yeah, it's not like one of those things where you kind of realize, oh, that's why she's so fucked up. It's kind of like she's always been selfish and like kind of like just a shitty person from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like from her like asking the dude like, no, I want to keep the money, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she just grew up like fucked up, and she didn't for herself. But that growing up like informs her adulthood, which makes her think she can get away with the money at the end, and like kind of other people's lives at risk.
Say it, Mondo. Yeah. What kind of parent is she?
Piece of shit, dude.
Sure, a piece of shit.
R.I.P. to Sebastian Stan up in that. He got caught up in all the Destroyer mayhem. And she's miserable about it. I get it, but it's still her fault.
Yeah.
And Stan was a good man. That haircut and goatee, maybe not so much. Sense of style, maybe not so much. But I get it. He was trying to be like a redneck kind of, desert valley rat man.
It was for his undercover. Like he was trying to.
Right, and it was the '90s, so like that's the way rebel rousers looked.
Early aughts, late 90s, I guess. Yeah, right.
What fucking 90s? I'm sorry, god dang it. What 90s music were they playing? What song was that? Do you guys know? Like when they would shoot that scene. Like I know that song. I hate it, but I know it.
Like those rock kind of songs, like. They had like there's like one where
I don't know. It sucks. I hate that
Well,
song,
no,
bro.
Godsmack's in one part of it, and that's the part where she's like coming
Is
out of
that
the room. I
Godsmack?
think, yeah, that's Godsmack. And then there's a part where they first show them like all hanging out, and I think that's
Godsmack?
where I was like, oh shit, I think that's Sleep, and that's when I looked up the soundtrack, and Sleep is in that little bit. But then later on, where she's coming out, I think she's coming out of the room or something like that, or the bathroom. That's Godsmack.
And I gotta tell you, it's pretty sick. It's pretty. I mean, once the Godsmack kicks in, you know that you're gonna get yourself into some trouble. It's some real rebel rousing, and it all brings it back to the first D-Pen when she has the Godsmack tattoo.
Yeah.
Full circle, boys. Full
We're trying
circle.
to keep Godsmack in the collection.
Yeah.
Forever. We want
Well, we
Godsmack in the
were
closet.
until, until Diego.
Criterion.
Sorry,
if
dude.
you're listening
There's no
right now,
Godsmack.
which I know you are, we want a video of Godsmack in the closet picking their favorite films ASAP. Let's get it going. We should just change this name to Me, You, and Everyone You Know Godsmack.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
For being an FBI agent, why was Sebastian Stan such a bad shot? Like, he had that full sightless right in front of him, and like he shot like all around him.
Well, most movie cops are bad
shots, but
fucking shots. I mean, let's face it.
it's,
I mean, because he wasn't the Winter Soldier at this point, so he just didn't have the.
Oh yeah,
didn't
he
have
has to
the
lose
aim.
an arm or something.
He didn't have the arm.
Yeah, dude, he could have shot him at least once. Like he literally shot all around him. Like it was pretty bad.
That was for movie's sake, you know. Like he had to die.
Yeah, he had to die at the end at the hands of Kidman.
Evil man, Kebbell.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Toby Kebbell was that? Is that?
Yeah. He's he had to die at the hands of Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
There was no way they were gonna let Sebastian Stan get a shot at him because he's a supporting character. Come on, Nacho. We're gonna have the main character kill the bad guy. That's
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like at least get one shot off. Like he literally shot. Like he probably killed more civilians than anything. Like trying to shoot him. Like.
Well, she got pregnant, so he obviously got one shot off.
Oh,
Heyo.
yeah, true.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you meant miss.
Well, yeah. So I think it's a good choice to be in the collection. It'd be cool to see this movie kind of get a special treatment, get more special features. Kind of, I don't even know if you can get it on fucking Blu-ray.
It is Blu-ray, but yeah, you know,
it doesn't have like any.
It was on Hulu immediately though, like when they released
right.
it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it needs like some sort of special release. I want to get some commentary from Kusama, who I think is a really good up and coming director. I really like The Invitation.
That's sad to say that she's up and coming because.
Well, yeah. I guess I don't
Isn't
mean
Girl Fight like kind of old?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so is Jennifer's Body. You're right. That is a dumb thing to say. But she's not up and coming.
I don't know. She hasn't had the same opportunities.
Right. She unfortunately wasn't able to kind of like make a movie all the time. She had to like fight just to make certain movies.
She does like.
But I'm saying like she.
Stuff.
Yeah, she has like a nice little streak going here. Is kind of what I meant, not up and coming. But with the Invitation, the Feeder, and I'm excited to see what she's gonna do next. Hopefully, she keeps working with these writers. That's always a cool thing when you have like, you know, writers working with directors that kind of, because then you know the each other's voices, and you know kind of like, you know, they know what to write for her, and she knows what to like how to convey their writing. You know what I mean?
And
they got chemistry together.
She's done a really good job with that for sure. With Destroyer and The Invitation, those two.
Yeah, it'd be cool like if she keeps going with that, or just, and then also, you know, it'd be nice if this got just more attention so that more people would like, you know, I don't know, maybe people do want to work with her. I really don't know, but you know, like that more big names would want to like come to these directors. Like that's one of the things I really enjoy about Nicole Kidman as an actress, is that she'll go out and do different things. She's not just always trying to be in like Oscar bait movies, or she'll always try to work with different directors. You know, she's in like she'll work with Yorgos Lanthimos, Killing of a Sacred Deer. She'll do something like this. She does like a bunch of like just different stuff.
She's had a good
that
too.
where like Meryl Streep is just Meryl Streep's greatest actress ever, pretty much. But now she's just kind of doing boring stuff. She's just always working like on kind of Oscar baity Spielberg shit. And Nicole Kidman's taking risk. She's out there destroying it.
Yeah, right. And she's worked with what's his face?
Adam Sandler.
No. I can't.
Who?
Melancholy guy, right? Lars Van Trier.
Yeah, she's worked with Van Trier.
Shut up, really?
She worked with Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
She's worked with a lot of good
actress. Like this this movie really helped me like solidify that in my head, like she kind of always been like doing good work. I mean, she does like some other stuff, but she does a lot of good films like Kubrick and Killing with the Sacred Deer, all that. Like, and she's really, and she doesn't stand out like she's a movie actress. She stands out as an actor, like an actor. It's not.
Yeah.
Right.
She's really trying to get those roles, and which a lot of I don't think a lot of actresses are right now.
Yeah. So yeah, you hear that, Tom Cruise? You fucked up. You should have kept her, dog. You let her go, homie. You were too. Hey, I used to fucking. Sorry, Nacho, but he was too short anyway. So we don't.
That's why I like her. That's why he does.
Tom Cruise. And see, yeah, she's over here. She's making art that's gonna last forever, and Tom Cruise thinks we give a shit that he's gonna jump out of a plane.
I hate her because she dunked the only short movie actor that I like. He's an inspiration. I want to be Tom Cruise. Okay. Anyways,
you want to wear
makes sense.
Fine.
You want to jump out of a plane and join Scientology.
I've never seen Top Gun. Have you guys ever seen that?
I've never seen Top Gun.
I've seen Top Gun.
I'm not the only one. All right.
Only like parts, like snippets.
I haven't seen shit, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so guys, we let it in the collection.
Yeah, check out the volleyball scene.
Wait, did we let it in the collection?
we haven't voted. We haven't.
I only said so far that I am letting it in. I'm letting it destroy its way on through. Because I really enjoyed this movie when I first saw it, and this is like I watched it again a third time, and I still enjoyed it the same. It might have a few pacing problems in a little bit of a small chunk of it, but it's not really that. It's not that noticeable. I don't. I'm not like, oh man, when's this movie going to be over or something like that. It just sort of kind of takes a little dip at a little part, but not too crazy. But I thought it was solid all the way through at this third watch. I'd watch it again. Like I said, I'd love for Criterion to release it so that there'd be some sort of like special features, just maybe even a little commentary, a little documentary about it. Hearing what people think of it now, because that's the thing that I like about Criterion is that they'll get these movies that. In a lot of ways, people were talking about them when they came out. People were praising them, but a lot of movies, people weren't. So you get to have new perspectives on like these new writers and critics kind of talking about, the impact that the film had when it came out. Is whereas like, yeah, fucking Destroyer didn't have like some huge impact when it came out. Nobody really noticed it, but I think had it been noticed, I think a lot of people would have praised it for what I'm praising it for. And it's not just a good movie because of this. And I'm only mentioning this because, it's unfortunate that it's rare that there are female directors who make movies like this, There obviously are. You have shit like fucking Lynn Ramsey making You Were Never Really Here, which is just a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
And, but unfortunately, they don't get to always make these movies. So when they do, it's really dope when, I gotta stop saying dope. I sound like a goddamn, it's really great when they're able to do it well. They're able to tell a story well, and they give you memorable characters. Like in my opinion, Nicole Kidman is a memorable character here. Like I'm always going to remember her character from this movie. They have a poster, Mondo, not you, but that company Mondo that makes like they have a poster that I'm probably going to get because it's on like $40 now. It's like a Destroyer poster, and it's like like the coyote. It's like a coyote and then like a city behind it. Like,
Okay.
Nice.
so like I'm probably gonna buy that because I don't know, I just really enjoyed this movie. But yeah, so I'm letting it in. So what do you guys? Now you two.
Nacho,
Go
what
for
you
it,
think?
Diego. I want to hear you, Diego, first.
Like I said, I'm not gonna hide the fact that I think you guys probably like it more than I do. I did like the watch, but listening to what you guys have to say, I don't know, for whatever reason I'm not 100% there. But it is a good, like you guys said, you guys did make me turn into the fact that there is not that many characters that stand out in films like how her character stands out, and the fact that it's like a female director that did it as well as she did, and then just the character in the film, like that's good. It's refreshing to see that. It's not like a like the stereotypical protagonists where you have like you see it all the time in like action films. It's like this like kind of like a hothead cop that's like basically trying to like clean up the city and whatever. But I'll let it in too. I'm gonna let it in just because of that. The refreshing take on the character, and the storyline was good, and the way it looked was the cinematography was fucking amazing too. I think that
for sure.
they did a really fucking good job. Like there's certain scenes that just like popped, and there's certain like scenes that I was like, oh, that's fucking badass. Like when she beats the guy in front of his kid. That shit was dope.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's it. That was.
It is
dope.
very cool to see people get beat in front of their kids. You're right. That's
yeah,
cool.
of course. Yeah, definitely for being an actor.
Elbow.
But
That's
I was also going to ask you.
His son the whole time, like when he's
elbows up.
Yeah.
What I was going to say though is too, like, Jordan, would you recommend this to everybody, or would you recommend this to certain people?
Yeah, I didn't even say anything about that for Paris, Texas. I wouldn't really. I would only recommend Paris, Texas, just to bring it back up really quick, to like people who are like, if you're listening to this. You obviously are interested in different types of film because the Criterion.
Right.
That's what all the I mean, all the films we've been talking about are pretty different. Pretty,
Yeah.
I mean, so that's so I would only recommend it to people but for Destroyer, I would definitely recommend it to everyone. And I did. I tried to tell people to go see it when it came out. I think it's entertaining enough and it's done well enough to where it's not all artsy or something where someone's going to complain about that, but it still has a gritty kind of indie movie feel to it. And it's just interesting, and people like Nicole Kidman, they're aware of who she is, so it's not like they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know anybody in this, because people always have like excuses why they don't watch certain movies, because like I don't recognize anybody, or it's slow, or it's too artsy. And I think the casual moviegoer, and that's fine if that's what they think, but I think this to me, I think can satisfy the casual moviegoer as well as the art house kind of indie.
That's what I was gonna get at, as far as like, that's why I wanted to ask you, because I was gonna get at, like, this is one of those films that if it was part of the Criterion collection, it's still one of those films that could be admired, or people that are casual movie goers it'll appeal to the masses. It's not just like a target audience type of film. So that's another reason why too I would let it in, because it's not just something that's, like you said, like an art house film or just a certain genre. Like, I think like people that like film, and also people that just like to just put something on and just kind of watch it, will enjoy it. It's an enjoyable film.
Yeah, and people just, I think in general, people just like movies where there's, some sort of murder mystery, or like, some sort of detective thing involved, and there's guns and shooting and bank robberies. People like shit like that, So I definitely recommend
it.
This.
It does those things very well too, like it just doesn't do the same old. It doesn't regurgitate it. It does it its own way.
Yeah, correct.
So you're letting it in, huh? You're letting it in, but you're keeping an eye on it, like. You're letting it. You're letting it in with the side eye.
I'm letting it in, but I'm definitely gonna keep my like an eye over my shoulder, just kind of keeping an eye.
Yeah, you're like giving it one of those, like, I'm letting you in.
What about you, Nacho? How you feel now?
I'm gonna vote it out because I'm tired of these piece of shit bad parent movies. Like, there's enough of those. There's enough of those in the Criterion collection. We already have Paris, Texas. He is a piece of shit dad. You don't need more of those people in the collection. I'm done. That's it.
Dad and a mom though.
Yeah, we need a bad mom. So I don't know.
Oh, in that case, then yeah, I'll vote it in. I mean, I like it. Yeah,
That was
one
easy.
piece of shit dad, one piece of shit mom. No, it was a good movie. Another movie that was nicely shot. It's kind of cool. It was funny. I paused it for a few times, like on the freeway scenes, because it's like it was all shot locally in LA or LA County, I should say, because one of them was like right here, the 71 10, like going towards like Pomona, that area. It's like a route I take like every fucking day. So it was just like routes like that was cool. Seeing that, the shot. I always like the shots where like it's focused on something and like you see the lights like kind of blurry in the back. There's a lot of that going on. I don't know what that is called exactly, but it was cool. Nicole Kidman's character was dope. Seeing. I like also the whole. I like when timelines like bounce back and forth, like like this is what's going on. It goes. Except for I did get kind of confused towards the end. I was like, oh shit! Like literally, the beginning was literally the end. Like that was Silas right there. I was like, oh shit! How did I miss that? I didn't see that coming. But no, movie's good. I mean, I was, regardless of what Diego said or Jordan said, I was gonna vote this in. No, I was a fan. I'd recommend this to people. Like Diego said, it's not a film that's too artsy. I think most people would like this movie. They would give it a watch. Yeah.
It sounds like it was.
We got another one for the collection.
Yep. All right. So she's in. Nicole Kidman and Karen Kusama are in.
I'm in there.
Good job, Mondo.
Yeah.
Good picks.
Yeah. So we have Paris, Texas, and Destroyer on this episode. Two films about people basically dealing with their past and being bad parents.
Piece of shit parents.
Paris, Texas can be watched on the Criterion channel, and Destroyer can be seen on Hulu for any of you guys want to watch that.
Yeah,
cool.
And I would definitely recommend them. Again, I feel like if anybody's listening to this, because I know Criterion is and listening to me, pal, if you don't put Destroyer in the collection, we're coming for it.
We're gonna have to destroy you.
Destroy you for sure.
We're coming in like Nicole Kidman after an all-night bender, baby. So watch out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll throw up in your hallway.
We'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
That scene with that guy.
I thought you wanted to start editing that stuff out. And
that's why I didn't say it all the way. I was waiting for someone else to say it.
Yeah, but it's like in two solid movies. I think if anybody is gonna listen, if anyone is listening to this, hopefully people are. I think that they would hopefully have seen these movies. But if not, because I don't know if we spoil a lot. We didn't really spoil Destroyer too much.
I don't think we were too bad with spoiling today.
Well, we did, because we said at the beginning is the end. So, but
I did do that.
They should still see it because you shouldn't care about spoilers. Your movie experience, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if you know what's coming, you still just enjoy it up to what. So go see Destroyer.
Yeah, see Destroyer.
See Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
Criterion, get at us. We still haven't released an episode, and we need your help.
Get them out there soon, right? And by the time you hear this, you will have heard the first one, hopefully. And second.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm just yeah. So
yeah, we're breaking the wall.
That's it for this episode. So this is so far we've gotten my pick got in, Dale's pick got booted.
Yeah, thanks.
Pick got in. So we're gonna see what's gonna crack with Nacho coming up next. It looks like we're getting into some Von Troyer business. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks to anybody who is listening.
You're out there.
yeah, thanks to you guys for listening to me for what I had to say about these films. If any, because nobody else is probably going to, so I appreciate you guys listening.